Hey everyone, I'm back and I have a message for you guys who can fall into the trap of feeling a sense of intimidation or kind of putting yourself lower than other people. And maybe you're somebody who can fall trap or victim to your own mentality around, a hierarchy around people. And sometimes you can put yourself into a position where you put yourself lower than other people. And I want to talk to you guys about that because we've all fallen into that trap before where we've got a hierarchy. We think, oh, that person knows more than me or is more successful than me, or, maybe they're pretty judgmental, so we're afraid to step up and be who we are because that they might tear us down or intimidate us in some way. And that's really what I want to have a conversation with you guys about today. So I want you guys to let me know where in the world you're tuning in from, and also if you have any words of wisdom that you'd love to share on this topic around intimidation, around sticking up and being all of who you are. So just as I share this really, really quickly, let me know where you're tuning in from. I love getting to connect with you guys. And this is a really important topic. And so I want you guys to kind of put yourself into this position and asking yourself seriously about who in your life do you feel kind of intimidated by. And this message is going to be coming from my own personal experience and also people that I've gotten to connect with who I see fall into this trap of feeling very intimidated by other people, and I see other people try and be in that position of intimidation. They want people to fear them. They want people to not be able to think for themselves, and they want that sense of control so that they can, get what they want and do what they want, right? So this is going to be a really interesting one for you guys to apply to your own life. But at the end of the day, today's topic is all about the fact that no one can intimidate you unless you're believing that they're more powerful than you. So every message I give to you guys, I hope you know by now, is all about your empowerment and to make you realize that you are the driver of your entire existence, your entire experience of life, and every interaction that you have. It's all in your power to shift and change the dynamic of. So I oftentimes talk to you guys about situations where we are disempowering ourselves and we don't even realize it. And my hope is that sharing these stories and these experiences is going to just make you more aware of how you're creating your own suffering and your own struggles, and give you the power and the momentum and the clarity about how to shift and change that direction to something much, much, much more empowering. So I've told you recently, guys, about some experiences that I've had that have definitely made me feel very vulnerable in terms of probably the weakest I've ever felt in my entire life, right? And because I'd never experienced it before, to be honest, I think I've lived a pretty lucky life in a lot of regards, right? I haven't had to deal with people actively taking advantage of me, a little bit more indirectly in my experience. And so because of my experience up until this point in my life, I've kind of just seen all the good and kind of thought, the bad in people is really a tiny minority. And it's not really the case. It's probably 50-50. Everywhere you go, it's 50% good, 50% bad. That's the power of duality in life circumstances. I also like to think of all of us people, we have multitudes of different sides and we're not just all one way. But where we run into a lot of challenges is with our unaddressed fears and insecurities. And so what happens is when we are not looking after our own internal world and empowering ourselves and looking and facing our fears and our insecurities, we go one of two ways, right? We'll either go in the direction of feeling really weak and insecure and, always doubting and questioning ourselves and never really stepping up to the plate with our potential. Or we go in the other direction and we have to instill control, right, on other people. And it's all about, us pumping ourselves up and making sure nobody sees our weaknesses or our insecurities. And we cover all of that up with this, kind of the dog, the smallest dog has the loudest bark, right? And we cover it all up and we try and control as our way of, managing and not having to face or attempting to avoid our fears and insecurities, right? Both sides of the equation are doing the same thing in terms of not addressing their fears and empowering themselves in the healthiest way possible, which is to start from the inside out. And but both end up attracting one another, right? So if you are somebody who ends up falling into that, I doubt myself and I'm really insecure and I lack confidence and I'm not very good at stepping up for myself or whatever that is, right, in your own way, you end up attracting the opposite side of that polarity. That person who's just like, will never let you see a chink in their armor, and they're completely armored and they act as if they've got it all 100% together, and they want you to be that weak person because that makes them feel better, right? So, and they want to control the weak people, and the weak people want to feel a sense of certainty, so they are happy to have that person sort of control their life into a certain degree, right? And so, but both sides, as I said, not dealing with their own internal work, avoiding their fears, letting their fears take over. And we either go in the direction of further insecurity and fear and meekness, or we go over the other side and we try and control all those meek people. Both are attempts to just kind of save ourselves and feel okay and whatever. But at the end of the day, those people over there who are trying to control, and the people who are being controlled, you're both in this unfulfilling cycle, and you're both attracting one another, and you're both feeding and enabling each other's poor behavior and lack of responsibility for our own direction in life, right? So where does this all, why am I talking about this? Because at the end of the day, the people who are in that weak, meek, doubting themselves, and believe me, I've been there, right? When we're in that, and I sometimes fall back into that, I do not pretend to have it all together. I think anybody who pretends to have it all together is lying to you, and you should run 1,000,000 miles. My whole style of my entire business is to be open and be vulnerable and be transparent, but from a place of strength, like I'm taking care of this, I'm doing the work, and I'm showing you what's possible. And so at the end of the day, those people who are doubting themselves are often a hell of a lot closer to breaking through and breaking free to the person that they are and to accessing their potential, right? Because when we're in that place, we tend to get to a point where we want to seek guidance and we can trust in others. Oftentimes we're overly trusting in others, and that's what puts us in that vulnerable position to attract these controlling people in our lives who want to intimidate us. Because we put too much trust in them because we're not putting enough trust in ourselves. They're often at a better point if you find the right people who actually have your best interests at heart to grow and get beyond that and to empower yourself so that you can go about, not being intimidated by other people and stepping into your strength and your power and actually, creating a life that's filled with meaning where you feel like you can actually contribute to the lives of others. That's what life is all about, right? But not when you're trapped in your own fears. It's all about you. And on the other side of that, those people who are intimidating, standing over other people, that's how they get their juice, their value for themselves in life, which is very short-lived because there's a deeper part of their soul that knows they're not doing the right thing for humanity, but it's this power-hungry struggle for significance that's a constant empty pit that they need to constantly seek and grab and control and go over and over again and, attract all those weak-meat people instead of actually going to town with their own internal work. They don't want to admit fault. So unfortunately, those are the type of people who it's incredibly rare that they ever break through and break free of that kind of existence and actually step into true empowerment and real fulfillment. And the reason is they'll never accept responsibility. They're always looking to shift the blame and to just try and control their outside world rather than go within and, admit they've got some vulnerabilities, they've got some insecurities, they've got some fears that need to be dealt with. And that's why, I oftentimes, are working with the other side, right? The people who are doubting themselves, they need that build up, they need to see their potential, and they sometimes need permission to step into that. I've been there myself. But when they fall into the trap of the other people who want them, they need people to ask for permission to them and they would just want to control them. I see time and time again these people selling out on their potential because they just want certainty and they just want this person in their life to just control it, right? But they get to a point eventually where they're filled with regrets because they didn't end up living their own life, right? They ended up sacrificing their truth and their true selves for this other person's agenda, all right? And what happens is they keep enabling each other's poor behavior, right? So my reason for sharing both sides of the equation with you guys today is that you can start to build awareness, because awareness is always step one, about which side of the fence do you tend to fall on, right? And when you can identify that, you know your pathway to breaking through, right? So if you're on this side of the fence and you're doubting yourself, you do need to honor and acknowledge and accept what is going on in your internal world. Follow your fears because they absolutely empower you when you shed light on them and you turn them around and you look at what is that fear pointing to that's meaningful to me, and start shifting gears and moving in that direction about a life of meaning, of fulfillment, of contribution, of your own personal growth, and getting people on your team. That's why I've built the Limitless Potential community. And we do our group coaching and we do our masterclass sessions each and every month to make sure that we're aware and we're building community around people who have our best interests at heart, who aren't trying to take advantage of our vulnerabilities and insecurities, and who are supporting and encouraging and challenging each other to reach for our potential. And then on the other side, if you see yourself in the other side where you can tend to control others, pretty unlikely you're probably going to be watching a video like this because, I don't like to use labels, but oftentimes that's the more narcissistic side. And when we're operating in the narcissistic side to an extreme, because we all have narcissism, right? We all want to know what's in it for me, right? That's not about completely being 100% altruistic. That's not possible for human beings. But when we're in the extreme of narcissism, highly unlikely those people would ever watch a video like this or ever look to take some responsibility for their own life and what they're doing for their own personal, emotional, spiritual work, right? They might be highly successful because they're trying to show the world that they're successful and, create this persona that is better than everybody else. But if you do notice yourself in that and you're not quite down the far end of the extreme to be completely ignorant of it, then at that time, you really need to also face and follow your fears and identify where you're selling out because you're trying to be up and above and more significant than other human beings and more certain than everybody else. And it's about balancing that out so that you can actually create a life of real meaning. And a great thing to do is to future project. Look at your patterns, become aware of them, and then ask yourself, where is this going to lead me in 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10, 20 years from now? And if you can even get to the end of your life and project what life would look like if you were to continue to play these, unresourceful patterns, then, what would it look like at the end of your life? Are you going to be proud of the person that you are, or are you going to be filled with regrets? And if you're going to be filled with regrets and not proud of the person that you've become, then what shift and change could you make right now today? How could you accept and own those different parts of your patterns? How could you shift and change that? And where would that lead you if you now future project into a different life, a different circumstance? And how would that be more empowering? Would you be regret-free? Would you be totally proud of the person that you are? It's really, really valuable and important to always notice and build awareness over what our patterns are, take full responsibility, stop blaming others, and then future project out to the end of your life. And, run it back. Do I want to keep playing this pattern, or do I want to make a shift and change for my future? All right. And so hoping that me sharing all of this is supporting you guys and empowering you, and to remind you also that no one can intimidate you unless you're believing that they're more powerful than you. So really powerful message for all of you guys who fall into that trap of doubting yourself and then seeking in the external world something that really only you can truly fulfill when you do your own internal work. Super empowering to, get support from other people who do have your best interests at heart. And any of you guys who aren't currently part of the Limitless Potential community, and you want to be surrounded by those quality of people who absolutely have your best interests at heart, who are reaching for the next level of their potential, and they absolutely want to support, encourage, and challenge you to do the same. If you're missing that level of connection in your life, that's the exact reason why I've started this community, and it's building and growing, and they're extraordinary human beings from all corners of the globe. So I'd really invite you to come and join us in there. So drop me a comment below or shoot me a message and I'll let you know all the details. And we've got an actual group coaching session coming up this weekend. So I can't wait. That's my opportunity to get to dive deep with you guys for a couple of hours happening this weekend, and get to support you to shift your perspective and empower you to break through whatever challenge you are currently faced with. All right. And to get the support of a beautiful, tight-knit community and team who really want to meet and connect with you at a deep, deep level and see you progress and grow and break through. So enough from me. I want to check in with you guys. So are you dropping me any comments? Say hi. Let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. Have you got any questions or comments or words of wisdom? I absolutely love to connect with you guys. So let me see. I've got James and Haru and Jared and Haru. Shine on, Divine One. Love and gratitude to you and yours. Thank you so much, my friend. And all that love and gratitude coming right back at you. And Laura's here as well. And Bobby and Caden. Good to see you, my friend. Good day to you, Ness. Still hailing from Houston, Texas. It is so great to see you as always, my friend. It's been a while since I've seen you on a live, so hope you've been doing amazingly well. And Jamie's here as well. And Elias, hello to you, my friend. Great to see you. And Bernadette from Toronto, Ontario. Lovely to have you. You're so welcome, Bobby. And Vince is here, and Emma and Josie and Alex and Caden. This is an interesting topic. I've never been intimidated, and I've never tried to intimidate, but I've had people feel challenged by what I'm capable of. So I try to encourage people to be their best, because I'm simply being me, and I have my share of expertise as well as areas of cluelessness, don't we all? Rise and let rise. No judgment, no judgment, got anyone ahead in life. Absolutely, Caden. I absolutely love sharing your experience as always, and words of wisdom. And I love your experience there. It wasn't actually until very recently that I felt incredibly intimidated, to the point where I was like, what the hell? Like, why am I operating this way? I felt so weak. Like, I felt like I was stumbling my words, and I was like, I just couldn't even show up. I felt anxious, and it was like, what the hell is going on here? What gift in sandpaper am I currently being presented with? And it's been an amazingly empowering journey that I've been on by just being able to identify, what the hell is going on there? Why do I feel this way? And, if I shared the ins and outs of the stories with you guys, guarantee you'd be like, yeah, I can see why you'd feel intimidated by that, right? But it's one of those people in your lives. I haven't had too much experience with, people who are kind of standover and try and use their power for their own advantage at your expense. And, will be right there ready and raring to publicly attempt to shame or humiliate you and gather their little group of people and kind of attack you. It's crazy. And to be honest, at the time, pretty intimidating. But, as I grew, because I'm somebody who absolutely will always grow from every challenge I experience, and that's a great mentality for everyone to have. When you have that, it's like, okay, it's not going to stop me. How is this going to empower me? How is this going to make me more aware and wise? And wow, honestly, I do feel like I went from intimidated girl to empowered woman, right? And so all of those times when we do feel intimidated, we can absolutely use it for our personal growth. And exactly what you said there as well, Caden, all those areas of our cluelessness, instead of avoiding those areas because we don't feel significant or we don't feel good enough, instead go, if you have the mentality of, I'm always going to learn and grow and become better because of what I've become aware of, you won't be afraid or intimidated by those areas of cluelessness. You'll step forward into them and you'll back yourself and you'll become better for it. So I love that, Caden. Thanks so much for sharing. And Jared, awesome. Intimidation is meant to override our own sense of self-worth. It only works if we allow it to affect us and then act out of fear to please. Bang on. I believe sometimes people try to destroy you precisely because they recognize your power, not because they don't see it, but because they see it and don't want it to exist. Such truth in those words there, Jared. I believe we need to not let somebody's opinion of us become our reality. Boom, drop the mic. You've absolutely got it. And that is so, so true. But most of us, we're too scared to own that. We're too scared to even let that be truth in our minds. And sometimes it takes us actually experiencing it and going to the depths of feeling intimidated and downtrodden for us to go, you know what? I've had enough of the pain. I'm going to find another way. So that's another reason why, if you do have somebody in your life who is intimidating to you, just know it's all in your mind. You're creating this, you're giving them the power, and you can make a shift. You can make a shift by backing yourself, by identifying this, by following the fear, by recognizing in what ways do I perceive that person to be more powerful than me, and then to own those different parts within yourself. There's a whole strategy behind this. You can absolutely do it. If you need guidance on that, always reach out to me. So I love that, Jared. Thanks so much for being here and sharing. And Judy's here as well. And Bernadette, I'm loving that you're finding truth here. And Caden, thanks for connecting with Jared. I love it when you guys connect in this community. Absolute facts, 100%, definitely for Jared. Thanks, Caden. And Siddharth. Great to have you here. I'm loving that you're finding some truth here as well. And Caden, yes, focus on the internal world. So good. I was just telling someone 5 minutes before this video, we have accepted what someone told us that separates us from happiness. Yeah, and this is right in line with intimidation. We can't let someone have a heavier opinion on us than our own. You wordsmith, you. I'm always calling you that because you absolutely are. So many words of wisdom in that, in what you've just said there, Caden. Thank you so much for showing up and sharing that with our team. I love it. And Bernadette, thanks for your message. It helped a lot. I'm so grateful to hear that, Bernadette. Thank you so much for letting me know that this was helpful for you. Sending you much love. And Donna's here. Loving it. You're loving this. I'm loving that you're loving it. And I love that you've showed up. Thanks for being here. And any of you guys who aren't currently following Donna Lee Perfect here, I encourage you to do so. She is a beautiful human being who is doing some incredible work around gratitude and doing some really beautiful mission in the world. So jump on her stuff, go check it out. Hope you enjoy as I do. And Caden, yes, yes, and yes. I love it. And Paul, unfortunately, many find certainty in being a victim rather than evolving and committing to growth. Absolutely. And it is unfortunate, but sometimes we're just ignorant to what is available to us. You know, I did a masterclass on this, which you guys can get access to when you join the Limitless Potential community, to our masterclasses, and it's all around the drama triangle, you know, and that victim role, we all play it at times, but when we can become aware of our patterns, then we can transcend them. And what happens for the victim is you become, instead of being victimized and helpless to life's circumstances, you become the creator of your own destiny. You empower yourself. And it's a really powerful journey that each and every one of us need to go on at times. And so I love that you're sharing that here, Paul. Absolutely. And Adnan, great to have you. And I'm loving that you're finding some greatness here. And Caden, responsibility keeps us moving in the highest direction. Boom, absolutely. So true. And Adnan, you're liking my hairstyle. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that. And Goldie, good morning to you. And Scotty's here. And Michael. And Caden, dive deep. Ralph Smart Trigger. Oh, I have no idea what that is, but I'll have to check out who the hell Ralph Smart is. And yeah, love it. I'll check it out. And Caden, I've been amazingly well. Thank you. Your words are priceless. Grateful to hear that, my friend. And Rasmus from Sweden. Oh, love it. That's I have not been to Sweden yet. It is absolutely on top of my list. Love to get up that way. Thank you. Need this advice now. So grateful to hear that, my friend. Thanks for showing up. And Frank's here as well. And Goldie, I'm doing amazingly well. Hope you are as well. And Siddharth, you look gorgeous. Nice hairstyle. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate that. And Quim's here. And Bernadette, that's kind of what has been happening with me this weekend. Awesome. Well, I'm hoping that today's message has really resonated with you. I love that you've been able to identify you in what we've been talking about today. That's the first step, that awareness, and then shift. How do you want it to look instead, right? Future project as well. So I love that. Dr. Michael, awesome girl. We love you. Crush on. I love that. Thanks so much for showing up, you guys. Hope you are doing amazingly well. And Bernadette, loving that this is resonating. And Sadan, very well said. Grateful to hear that, my friend. And Naveen is here. Hello to you. And Bernadette, you become a warrior for truth and wisdom. Absolutely. I love that. Totally. So guys, I'm so grateful to each and every one of you guys for showing up live today, for contributing your words of wisdom, and just, you know, building this beautiful community. And if you do want to access the Limitless Potential community, access all our masterclasses, dive deep, or join us in group coaching for a couple of hours this weekend, then reach out to me, let me know, and I will definitely hook you up with how you can do that. And Paul, watching with my daughter Samantha. She loves your makeup and message. Thank you, Paul. And thank you to your beautiful daughter. Hello. Grateful that you're enjoying it today. And Caden, your words and your vibes are just the best. I'm so glad the stars aligned and I finally caught you live. Me too, my friend. Always grateful to have you. So guys, that is my message for you guys today. Don't let anybody intimidate you. Empower yourself and realize that they can only intimidate you if you believe that they're more powerful than you. All right. So it's all in your control. Absolutely. Okay. So do not forget that. So as always, I'm sending you guys all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I really do hope that it's beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary, that you're doing something super empowering, and today's message has absolutely served you. Thanks again to all of you guys who co-created this amazing space. I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. Much love.